Life is all about relationships. Lovers, family, body, or money. How satisfied you are can be completely explained by how you relate to things around you. This is Sophie Jaffe, and together with my husband, Dr. Adi Jaffe, we are here to explore and teach you how to maximize your relationships and achieve a happier life. Let's get ignited.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Ignited Podcast. I'm Adi Jaffe.
And I am Sophie Jaffe.
And this has not been an easy week. We are recording this after the second day, the first full day that we've been able to be back at our house. LA was hit hard with some heat waves, and we got trapped in some weird half a block in the middle of the city that didn't have electricity for 4 days.
It was gnarly. It was rough. Not gonna lie. With a newborn, a dog, 2 kids, and us to relocate, to try and figure out, like, we were just lost. We were just trying to figure out, like, what do we do? Is it gonna, and they kept changing the time. Like, it'll be on in a couple hours. Oh, well, like, the rest of the block has power, but now you guys don't.
Everybody had power.
Everybody else got their power back in our area, and it was just so weird. So we kept thinking, oh, it's gonna come back, and it just didn't.
Yeah, the first night was cute and sexy. It was like the candles. We put candles everywhere. And it was really nice. And the kids went to sleep early, and we were like, oh, we're going to get a good night's sleep. And then we woke up and there's still nothing. And it's like 95 degrees.
The middle of the night, we all were waking up in the middle of the night. The kids, at least. I don't know if you did, but the kids and Noah and myself, like, we woke up over and over again, just so hot. And it was unbearable. And we were sleeping on top of the covers, but it was still unbearable because it was like 90 degrees in here. It was not safe.
Yeah, it was at least 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And she was sleeping all the time. So we went to spend days by a hotel by here to spend time by the pool. But it was a nightmare. And we were like a traveling circus, like a car packed with our stuff. Yeah. 3 kids, the dog.
It was rough. And we were in survival mode. Like, by the last day, we were not doing well.
Yeah. And I think we're so used to routine. I think it's
especially
hard.
With a newborn, though. I mean, it's just really hard with her.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the theme of today anyway.
Yeah.
Is so used to routine. I mean, I'm so big on routine in my own life anyway. I get so thrown off when anything does not happen the way it usually happens. I think honestly that's probably part of what my resistance was to even having a third child, was I'd finally, after the first 2 boys, kind of like landed on a rhythm. Mm-hmm. And then, you don't know what to expect.
Exactly.
At all. So, I mean, even as we're recording this now, it's like this is entering into the time in the day when Noah requires more attention, weirdly. Like, somehow in the evening time is when she decided that she needs more attention than a lot of the rest of the day.
Yeah, she's been pretty clingy lately, but she's pretty delicious.
She is incredibly cute.
So yeah, we are in the first full month working towards, this is 5 weeks. So we're 5 weeks that Noah's been with us. And one of the women that we're interviewing in this particular episode brought her 3-month-old.
Yeah, Allie brought her 3-month-old. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it was continuing along with the circus ride. She got thrown into the mix. She brought her baby, which is totally fine. And typically
to our hotel room where there was a rollaway bed. So the room, imagine, like, just put yourself in any regular American hotel room and then throw a rollaway bed into it. And now put 4 adults and 2 kids in that room trying to record a podcast.
2 babies. Yeah, it was a lot. But, I'm always someone who just goes with the flow and, like, rolls with it. And it was fun, but it was also just chaotic. And
yeah, actually, this is a good warning to everybody listening. Like, the pre-interview will go as usual. If you get really annoyed by the sound of babies making noise, as soon as the break happens, just take off. Yep. Go do something else. Yep. This is not the episode for you.
Those baby girls were chatting. They had a lot to say.
They contributed.
That is your warning.
Yeah, absolutely. But what was really nice was to see you, Sophie, a 3rd-time mom, connecting with a first-time mom who's just kind of figuring it all out.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I mean, it's so beautiful to witness. And it was also really fun to just, be in that position of, like, I got this down for the most part. Obviously, things are thrown at us all the time, and I'm exhausted and beyond drained, and I definitely need some nurturing, but I definitely know also like what to expect for the most part. And, you know, it was nice to connect with her. She's also been in it for 3 months now. I've been in it for 1 month. So it was like all different perspectives, but it's just a beautiful time like that. You can still feel that magic between her, Allie, and her baby, because it's just this sacred, magical time where you are so linked to your human baby.
Totally.
For nourishment, for every single, you know, sip of, for their life. They can't even, I mean, Noah can't even hold her head up by herself.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're so helpless, and we talk about this all the time. She was inside you for 9 months, and then comes out and still relies on you for every single thing that she needs, or she will just perish. She cannot survive without you right now.
Totally. It's so sweet.
And it was actually kind of interesting because in this episode we have Amanda, who doesn't have kids. She's married but has no kids. Allie, who just had her first baby, and us, who've kind of been down this road a little bit longer. And so it was really interesting to connect across all of those different channels, because we're all in these very different life experiences, and that was interesting.
Yeah, it was. And we cover lots of different topics. We do talk about parenting a lot and motherhood for obvious reasons, but also we talk about, you know, girlfriends and friendships.
We talk a lot about female friendships, which is a theme that's come up for us a lot. And you touched on something that you, right before we started doing this, that you said really struck you as you were thinking about this interview. And it was this transition from kind of a single woman or even a married woman to a mother, and how that transition only happens after the baby shows up. You can't prep for it. You don't know what it's going to be like. And you got to see that with Allie this time.
Yeah. And I mean, I found this beautiful quote, and it's so true. It says, "The moment a child is born, the mother is also born. She never existed before. The woman existed, but the mother never. A mother is something absolutely new." And Osho said that. And it's so true. You cross this threshold, you birth a baby, and then you birth yourself into this new phase in your life.
Yeah, and we were saying, look, that's true for everything, but now you throw another human into the mix. And bottom line is, none of us have ever been this connected to another human until you have your own child.
Absolutely.
And you can't prep for it. You can read all the books you want. You don't understand it until it happens to you. We always talk, Sophie and I, about how, my mom's first text to me after we had Kai, our oldest, was, "Now you know how much we love you." Mm-hmm. Because you can't know that understanding until you're there. I got to say, it's kind of funny to hear a quote from Osho after we watched that documentary.
Yeah.
Has that just really destroyed not destroyed, but tainted and changed any mention of Osho to you?
It's definitely changed, yes.
Because I got to say, when you and Rochelle first mentioned Osho to me, I'd never even heard the name.
Yeah.
And then we watched, what is it, the Wild West document or something like that. We'll have a link to it. But if you haven't seen the Osho documentary...
Yeah, it's on Netflix, right? Or was it HBO?
You got to go. You got to go and do it. It's a cult phenomenon by itself at this point. But when you read a quote from him, I'm immediately kind of going to that documentary and that person that I met in the documentary. But I love this because, we teach this through the people we work with all the time, which is you don't know the role you're trying to step into until you're in it. So, prep as much as you want to, but understand that as soon as you walk into that place, it's going to be a very, very different existence.
There's so much unknowns, for sure.
Yeah, and parenting, each one of our 3 kids is a little bit different. And so every time that you have a kid, you're even a different parent, which is really, really kind of like a challenge that you don't even know you're signing up for when you first do it.
It's definitely a balancing act between the different children and what each person needs.
Yeah.
One needs to be burped currently. One needs to be read to. One needs some kisses.
And I think we're going to keep this one short because the interview itself is almost an hour long. But, for the relationship tip, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, and I really came front and center to me when this happened to us, when we lost power, was be flexible. Find a way in yourself to not be overly rigid with the expectations you have of what life is supposed to look like, what Tuesday is supposed to mean, what, I ended up Monday was a work day and I'm preparing this book launch and there was all this stuff that we were supposed to do. And absolutely nothing worked out right. And it really, I got pretty thrown off. And, it was at the end, it was the fourth day out of 4 days of things not going right. And I really feel like one of the things that makes it possible to overcome real struggles is when you practice flexibility on the smaller stuff.
Do you feel you practiced flexibility on Monday morning?
Not Monday morning.
Oh, okay.
The 3 days before I practiced flexibility. I was done practicing Monday morning.
Well, I think because it was the weekend, you could slip into more flexibility. But the minute it was a work day, you freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
For sure.
Hey, half the time the relationship tips are also things that are helping me in my everyday life.
Of course, they definitely do. That's the point, right?
Yeah. It's like, you practice stretching at the end of workouts or at the end of runs, not for the stretch in the moment, but so that overall in your life, those stretches accumulate to making you more limber, making your muscles more flexible so that you can withstand injury and things that come up later. I think the exact same analogy works for this. You practice in the moment. I mean, we kind of even laughed. You'll hear about it in the interview. Kind of laughed a little bit about how rigid I was that morning.
Yeah, did we talk about that during ours or their recording?
I don't remember.
We recorded for their podcast too.
That's right. We were there for 2.5 hours recording podcasts in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So these are the adventures, the and selfie adventures that you get to go on.
Yes. And we did have someone chat with us. Just know that if you don't have children, if you're not married, if you're not in a relationship, there are so many nuggets of incredible takeaways from all of these podcasts. And we're going to keep recording requests from all of you. We really appreciate when you give us suggestions of what you want to hear. But
Absolutely.
just know you don't have to be in a relationship. I mean, these are things you're paying it forward.
Yeah, but by the way, we love the suggestions. So somebody suggested or asked if we can talk about some of our earlier life experiences. One of the future Going Deep episodes, we'll be going into more of our college life and growing up and what that was like, because I think that's really, really relevant for a lot of people.
For sure.
Listen, and we love hearing what you guys want so that we can provide, I don't even want to call it wisdom, just talking about the experience that we had,
connecting
in ways that feed you.
Yeah.
And I just want to remind you all that the relationship intro workshop that we have is still live. We'll have a link for that here, and you can do that whenever you want. We've had dozens of people sign up now, and they all love the fact that it's just always available for them there. Not like a therapy session where you got to call your therapist and go, okay, you got something in 4 days. There are these exercises and things you can do right away with your partner. And so people are really, really loving that, and you should check that out.
Check it out.
And I'm going to plug that book release that is happening for me over the next month and a half. The pre-sale is live by the time this episode goes on. So check out theabstinenceMyth.com. We'll have a link here. Go. If you know somebody who's struggling, if you yourself have struggled with addiction, I can't wait for you all to get your hands on this. Super exciting. And the people who buy it in the pre-sale, we've got some really, really cool giveaways that we are going to provide for you.
Yay.
Love you all for joining us. Thanks for being here as part of our madness. Yes.
Noah is out.
Noah agrees. See you on the other side.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Ignited podcast is brought to you by Philosophy Superfoods. The Philosophy offers cleanses and other nutritional products that are unlike any of the other supplements and detoxification programs on the market. Why? Because they actually nourish the body with whole, live, nutrient-rich foods instead of depriving you and leaving you hungry. Have you ever tried a cleanse only to find out that you can't make it through a whole day because you're starving? Ever try a superfood shake that made you nauseous because it was so disgusting you'd rather not eat? The Philosophy fix all that with a simple set of offerings that load up your body with nutrients while actually tasting good. Makes sense, right? Each of the Philosophy superfood and protein blends is vegan, raw, gluten-free, and has absolutely no filler ingredients. With over 15,000 satisfied customers, including some of the world's biggest celebrities like George Clooney, Gerard Butler, Lea Michele, and over 10 years of experience, this is the best stuff you can get. To buy some or find out more info, go to our website, thephilosophy.com.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to this episode of the Ignited Podcast. We're here for the conversational piece of today, and it's a full house, like full.
You said conversational, and she's like, "Here we go."
Yeah.
And actually, not even a house.
Nope.
Not at all a house. So there's a heat wave in LA. We are out of our house because our house has no electricity.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah. So instead, we're at the hotel. I would mention the hotel, but they did not comp us this room.
Yeah, they're not
so
getting any
they're not getting a mention.
endorsements here.
Smart.
But we have guests.
Yes.
We actually have a lot of guests. So, Allie, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Sure. I'm Amelia Levine. You're hearing my daughter, Amelia Rei, who's gurgling and chatting. You said conversation, so she's like, I know how to conversate.
Full-on conversation.
I am a celebrity wardrobe stylist, TV personality, and fashion expert and podcaster, of course.
Awesome. Love it. And then, Amanda, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Amanda Lauren. I am Allie's co-host of Things We're Too Lazy to Blog About.
Yes.
And I am a writer, a comedian. I say I'm a Jackie of all trades, Marilyn of none.
That's my favorite.
Nice.
Cute.
It says it on my email
And
signature,
she's
so
a
it's
recent
true.
writer for Forbes. I have to
I do
put
write
that
for
in there.
Forbes.
It's a very
I
big
know.
deal.
Plug that.
Yeah, plug away.
Yeah. I think if you write for Forbes, you're at least a writer.
Right?
At least
the
that goes
very
on your
least,
byline
yeah.
somewhere, right?
It does. It's so weird because it's something like everyone knows and it's super prestigious. And I'm just like, I better not screw this up.
It's that imposter syndrome half of us walk around with all the time, and the
Yeah.
rest are
Yes.
just too oblivious to have.
Totally. It's so true. And then we, of course, blog together, which is kind of how when we got into our podcast together,
Yeah.
it was like things we're too lazy to blog about because we try to blog about everything, but there's just not enough time in the day.
For
so
sure.
the podcast kind of made it like, hey, we'll talk about it.
I love it.
Some things are more of a dialogue.
Yeah.
It's true. Like I think that both of us really like started, well, for many reasons, started our blogs, but to like help women and to give advice and to be like practical in the way LA women are practical.
Yeah.
Probably not in the way most people are practical.
Yeah, and we wanted to like empower and
Yeah.
inspire with our podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you guys blog, what is it about primarily?
Well, for my blog, it's obviously mostly focused on fashion just because that's what people come to me for. I've dove more into beauty because Amanda's more into the beauty world. And so we kind of have swapped a little bit and we help each other out with like fashion topics for her blog, beauty topics for mine. And we've met so many brands together. And then I try to do a little bit of lifestyle. Now, of course, I'm a mommy.
Yeah.
With Amelia being 3 months, I have like Mommy Monday and I do mommy products and things that I really find helpful and things that organically, I just love and have, gotten to know. Today's blog, I did all about like self-love because I've been very hard on myself since being a mom.
Yeah.
And I never realized how important that was and how many women and moms don't talk about that. So I've actually had a lot of feedback today from a lot of moms, which is, inspiring and makes me feel good that other people are like, yeah, I've been depressed too, or yeah, I've had moments where I just flip and I have to walk out of the room. And it's like, okay, well, not only are you helping me, but I'm helping you because maybe you're not ready to say that.
Yeah.
And so, I'm starting to really dive into the mommy world as well.
That's great. I mean, I think Sophie definitely found a place there that felt really, really comfortable and very different than the yoga wellness world that you started in, babe.
Yeah, and I think it's good. It's a good evolution for us.
Absolutely.
Like we have our careers and we have the things that people come to us for. For me, it's fitness and nutrition and raw foods and superfoods and all of that. And I'll always be that. But now I'm a mom, and that it's for a while. I think because I was the youngest, I was 26 when I had Kai, 28 with Leo, and I didn't really have a lot of friends that had kids. So I kind of I wasn't keeping it a secret. It was just kind of like, does anyone really care about me talking about this?
And you were like transitioning to this like new normal.
Exactly.
And that's how I feel. It's like most of my friends aren't at the baby stage yet. Like they just got married or they're still enjoying marriage. And I'm still like learning also. And but I agree with you. It's like a really healthy transition of like, I'm still these things that's never going to change, but I'm also a mom, which is like the hardest but most amazing job in the world.
Totally.
And I need to like own it and I need to be able to like speak to this.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm still
same.
finding myself too.
I think with my third, I'm finally ready to
Good for you.
talk about it and like be open about it. And it, and it's funny how many people resonate, you know, like it's just come out of the
absolutely.
woodwork. Like I didn't know I had this many mom followers.
me
And
too.
It's really
It's
nice
nice,
to
right?
have that community.
Yeah, I agree with you. The mom community is actually really special. I was saying to Amanda, I was like, I'm excited for one day when you join the mom community because I never realized a group of women could be so like have your back just because and not to say other groups don't, because I don't want to be rude, but like a lot of people can be catty and, you know, this and that. And when you're in the mom community, it's like they really want to help you. Like they really want to share and they want you to love on yourself. And I just find so much inspiration in that. And that's been really helping me with like what I've been struggling with being a new mom.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. You want support and you feel so alone at times.
Oh, yeah.
And
I have so many moments.
I mean, even, you know, we're married and we're in the same bedroom, but I feel so alone at times. You know, I get up at 3 a.m. and go have like an hour with my baby, and then I come back and I'm cracked out and I like, he's right next to me, but I don't feel connected,
Me
you know?
too.
And so
I had that moment last night. My husband had to be at work extra early and he was like, I love you, but I cannot get up tonight. Like, just, you know, if you're really dying, whack me, but like, I really need to sleep. And she had a bad night and we're trying to sleep train. And, you know, she woke up at like 3:30 a.m. and I wanted to cry because I had just done like a dream feeding at midnight thinking like, hey, you'll stay down, right? Till like at least 4 or 5. No. And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, Amelia, please. And she was screaming. And I was just like, I had to walk out of the room and go feed her and be by myself. And then I had to pump because I was like extra engorged. And I was like, okay, this is really shitty right now. And it's true. You do. You feel alone even though you have an amazing partner.
Sure.
So it is nice to be able to like just even having this conversation, like it's therapeutic to me.
Exactly.
You know?
Same. Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to be so prepared to be a mom because I don't have kids right now. I don't know when we're going to start trying. I always kept saying like in like a year, who knows? There's like a lot going on in our lives, but I just feel so happy that my friends are going to make all the mistakes first.
She tells me, she's like, I'm learning through you. I'm like, well, I'm glad.
It's really interesting to see. It's like, it's so funny. I was in a private Facebook group for a different podcast. I don't know if you saw it. I almost tagged you the other day and someone was talking about vaccines and
I did
like,
see that.
there is, oh my God. It was like someone was like thinking of not vaccinating her child. And obviously like people should do their research and think people need to like do what they feel comfortable with. And I said, I'm not a mom. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I have friends that read the Dr. Sears book. You might want to read it. Oh my God. I'm like, I'm tapping out. I'm done. And people are,
do not raise the mama bears.
That's right. I was just going to say
They
that.
will
Do not.
attack.
That's right. They will attack.
and they're like, but they're all hating on each other. And I'm just like, you know what? I know when I have a kid, I will not be in any private Facebook groups for moms, and I'm just going to text
I actually have
Allie.
left all of them.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm only in one Yeti Moms. I have to give them a shout out because you should. I'll invite you to check
I'm
them
with
out.
Fashion Mamas, but that's like a different kind of group. The other mama private groups on Facebook that are just moms, kind of like
going at each other.
Parenting groups.
Parenting, quote unquote,
complaining,
like
and unfortunately not being the most supportive. I'm with you. I've tapped out of all those groups too. But Yeti Mamas is kind of just like they're really funny because like they'll post like if their kids spit up and they're like, oh, so I was supposed to go do this today. Yeah. Like, just kidding. This is what we're doing instead.
Yeah,
and like, it just makes me laugh.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I'm
I like
cool
that.
with that.
Lightness.
Yes, lightness. Exactly.
Yeah, I love my Fashion Mamas group.
I'll have to check that out.
It's awesome. It's like, it's a membership group. It's in LA. Actually, it's in LA, New York, Miami, and San Francisco now.
Ooh.
But I've been with her since the very, very beginning.
How cool.
Natalie used to be an editor for Racked.
Okay.
Which you probably know of.
Of course.
Is it even around anymore?
It got absorbed into
absorbed.
Vox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a few weeks ago.
Yeah. It's recent.
wow.
So it exists now as a vertical of another. And if they haven't done it yet, they're doing it in the next few weeks.
I thought that was a while ago. Well, she left the editor of Racked and started, she was pregnant and
amazing.
in this new world. So she started Fashion Mamas. So most of the moms in this group are in the fashion industry or at least are entrepreneurs. So they all work and they all have kids. So it's really nice to connect with other moms who are in that same world of, you know, having babies, having parenting life, but also having being entrepreneurs and having their own businesses.
So Amanda, how long has your friendship been this strong? Like when you actually work together or collaborated together on a regular basis?
We've just like, I think from like the moment we met, actually, which was at a party for, I think it was OK or Star or one of the.
Yeah, I said it was at OK at for the red carpet. I always
forget. Yeah. It was like a red carpet event. And we were introduced by actually like an ex-boyfriend of mine who I'm still really good friends with. And he actually invited my husband, because whenever I tell this story, I'm like, people must think I'm really weird. He invited my husband to this event as well, and he wasn't feeling well. And he's just now like a very good friend. So like we went, whatever. And like we were talking and I don't know, I just felt a connection with her. And then I'm like, we should go grab lunch. And in LA, when you say you're going to go grab lunch with someone, you make a plan for you exchange emails. Then a month and a half later, someone emails someone else. The response is 3 weeks after that. You make plans for the next 2 weeks. You reschedule 4 times. Someone cancels at the last minute, and maybe 7 months later,
You meet at a party again.
yeah.
And you're like,
And then
we
you
gotta
haven't
do
seen each
that
other, like,
lunch.
oh, we should do that lunch.
Yeah.
Totally. I
Yeah.
think anybody who lives in LA is either laughing in their car right now or crying
Yeah.
if they're in the
be
waiting for
planned.
one of these kind of lunches.
I know. But we actually did, and both of our husbands like to play golf, and we're like, oh, we should get them together because they're both old men.
Yeah, we were like, mandate.
I don't get the old man vibe from you.
I don't either.
It depends on the day and what's going on. I'm just
After 8 p.m., we're both old men.
yeah. No, but I hear. You know what? I love the idea of golf. I feel like I don't have the time. Golf takes a lot of time. B, I didn't get into it early enough, so I go to the driving range now and try to hit the ball. Sometimes I hit it right, sometimes I don't. It's fun. It's like a little workout, but I never got into the game. I always wanted to. It seems like the best game to play with other men.
You know
Never
what?
did it.
You should go with our husbands.
There you go.
I'm
Totally
inviting
should.
you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You would have fun.
Yeah, no. I think I've literally played twice. Once in Fiji and once here in like Beverly Hills. So
Wow, Fiji.
Those are.
That's on my
I know.
bucket
I can't.
list.
I mean, it's something hard to complain about, but I suck. But thank you for the old man vibe comment. I don't know. I'm like
No, you really don't, though.
No, you don't.
about to turn 42.
What?
I know it's kind of crazy. It's ridiculous.
You don't. Wow, you don't look pretty. I mean, you guys both look amazing.
Oh,
so
thank you. So sweet.
you look
guys
like
could
you
stay
should-
around.
You look like you should be on like
We're gonna
Teen
go by the
Mom.
pool later. If you
Yeah,
guys want to just hang out.
like, tell me more.
No, I'm not kidding. You look like you should be on Teen Mom, but you actually look better
I
than
know,
the girls
right?
on Teen
They're
Mom.
flawless looking. Yeah. I'm like, LA hasn't gotten to you somehow.
That's
Yeah, we
funny.
just stay in our little pod. Just keep having kids. It keeps you very disconnected from the LA.
I believe that.
That's
Yeah, my
hilarious.
husband would enjoy that comment. He already last night in bed was like, so, we're starting to get the hang of this. I'm like, we are? He's like, I'm thinking like maybe next year at this time, like we'll like hopefully be at number 2. And I'm like, wow, you need to take a chill pill for a minute. I need to
Maybe
like,
you need to play golf. Why don't
Yeah,
you go play
for a
golf
while.
for a minute?
exactly.
So when was that okay party that you
It
guys
was
went
like
to?
2
2 years ago now.
Oh,
2.5 years ago. I think it was in February.
Oh, because it was the Grammys.
I think so.
Yeah, it was the Grammys.
And then an Elle King performed. You're right. It was like the weekend before the Grammys. And so then we just became really good friends. And it's weird because I think all women hate me. And that's
so
like
delusional.
no, but it's like my crazy thing. And I always say that. And it's weird because I had like so many bridesmaids and I have so many female friends, but I am like, I went to an all girls high school, like 19 girls in my graduating class. And I think like, I think I like got over women very quickly and I'm very selective about who I have like in my life.
I think that's also just getting older.
True.
Getting
I
older,
agree with
you
that.
just start
like
to weed out the.
And it's the second time you brought up imposter syndrome since I met you in the last 45
you're a
minutes. So maybe we
psychologist,
got to talk about that a little bit. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's really interesting. But you guys met and it clicked, and then it worked. Because
Yeah,
sometimes you
totally
show up to
worked.
that lunch and you're like, cool, this was nice.
Right.
And you see them at that other party
Yeah.
7 months
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, totally. No, we did. We clicked and we both brought our dogs.
Yes.
And like, it was just,
Yeah.
it just worked, right?
No, like we're basically family. It's
Yeah, we
true.
joke about that
It's
all the
weird.
time.
We sometimes finish each other's sentences.
That's awesome.
And we have like a weird psychic connection.
That's really, really cool. And then, so you kept that up. You both were bloggers before that
Yeah,
started, it
correct,
sounded like.
yeah.
And then you just started kind of collaborating.
Yeah, she would feature me, I would feature her. I also freelance write for a few sites, now Forbes. Then it was, just different. I have like a whole laundry list of sites that I've written for because that's the way it is with freelance writing. Put her in a few places. And then I'm like, I want to do a podcast and you should do this with me.
Yeah.
So that's sort of how it ended up. It ended up working.
How
Like
long have you had the podcast?
we are a little over a year now.
That's great.
Yeah, which is crazy because I don't feel like we've been doing it that long.
I know. I'm like, I feel like I'm just getting like in the rhythm. Well, it was hard when she was pregnant to like do it. And we were twice a week at that point, which it's too much. Twice a week is just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's a
can't.
lot of commitment. It's a
once
big
a week
commitment.
is so doable. So
yeah,
we
we
were
tried
just,
and we were like, never mind.
we banked a lot of episodes. We did some over the phone and like
made it
some,
work.
we did. We did what we had to do because we didn't want to stop doing it. We didn't want to skip a week. That just didn't make sense to us.
We wanted to, when we originally started the podcast and started talking about it and creating it,
we were really wasted all the time and you were not pregnant.
Right, that's true. And it was a little bit different. But we also talked about the fact that we wanted it to be something that we wanted to listen to because we find out a podcast like that we would like, but then maybe they go away for like 6 months and we're like, let's not become those people. Like we get it. People are busy and things happen, but it's like we wanted to try to be, on point and try to be available. So we were like, well, bank episodes. She was amazing with coming over all the time.
And she was in the middle of moving.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was insane.
I don't know how you did that.
It was insane. I actually looked up online after I had her and it was like, what are the most stressful things in life? And it's death, moving, birth, and divorce. And I was like, cool. So I checked a few of those boxes. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, we've moved almost every 2 years for the last
I feel for
a
you.
while. And I feel like we're done. It's kind of insane though when I feel like if you have a high capacity to get things done, then you just keep loading yourself up until you're near failure. And then you go, oh, maybe I'm about to either die or get divorced. It is time to it's time to not check as many boxes. And that takes a lot of work to kind of back off and say, okay, I recognize that I've reached my limit.
Well, it's weird that you say that because I fractured my spine a month ago and I was at Cedars overnight and I've been going to doctors and the whole thing has been painful, but even more so, just annoying to deal with. I'm like, can we just figure out I have osteopenia in my hips. I sound like such an old lady. And they don't know what's wrong with my back. And I'm like, can we just figure this out and cut to the chase? I really don't have time for this. And it's like, I realized through this, I'm like, I can't answer every email. I can't, you know what? And I used it I was really honest with people. Why didn't you reply? I didn't reply and you had to send 3 emails because I was at Cedars. Yeah. And when I feel like I work 7 days a week. So if I have to take a few days off, just the whole thing, what am I going to do?
Yeah. I'm really not good at that. Sophie goes in and out, but is much better at disconnecting from work than I am. I mean, obviously, look, once you have kids, it adds a layer of, even when you're not working, you're busy. But I'm definitely one of those people who, if I joke about it, but it's not really a joke. If I wasn't married to Sophie, I'd be working 18-hour days. I would just be sitting in my laptop.
100% a work addict. All the other things he used to be has been now translated into work. So
I was also a work addict back then.
In a different way.
Well, I'm saying when I was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I worked 24/7 until I would literally pass out.
You had really good work ethic.
I was on a lot of meth. That makes it easier to be up for 4 days straight. But it was the same kind of thing. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's been a streak of mine forever. That's what I'm saying is it's hard for me to even know where the breaks are, to be honest. Because I kind of feel like if I'm slowing down, we were talking about this imposter syndrome thing. If I'm slowing down on this task, am I just being lazy or am I doing self-care? I can't even tell the difference sometimes.
You know what I learned to do 2 Sundays ago? I just took a few hours off and I was at the beach with my husband and we had brunch and then we realized it was too hot at the beach so we went back to go swimming in the pool. It's a long story. But it really just he wore jeans to the beach. I can't even. It was a mess. But anyway.
You should have talked to Allie. She would have given you some fashion tips on getting to the beach in the summer.
Totally.
Jeans would not have been it. I'm pretty sure jeans were not on the list.
It was the biggest fashion mistake he's ever made. But anyway, you know what? I didn't really answer my emails. I logged onto Facebook a few times.
And that's good. And
it was so nice.
I said to Amanda, I was exactly, it was healthy. I said to Amanda, because I'm a workaholic too. And I've really had to learn with having Amelia. I keep telling people she's teaching me patience, majorly. And I'm a workaholic as well. I work till 4 a.m. And now it's oh no, you have to sleep when she sleeps because otherwise you're going to be up with her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a real challenge for me because I'm no, I have to answer these emails. No, I have to get back to so-and-so client. I mean, even to the point where I was answering clients when I was in false labor. My husband was give me the phone. You're done. And I was no, but I have to get this gown to so-and-so. And he was I don't care. Yes, they're important, but your body, your health, the baby, is most important. And and I've been learning that. And so I said to her when she was over my place when we were recording and she was in pain and she was I have so much to answer. I said, Amanda, please listen to me as your friend, not just your business partner, not not just
This
your
was like
co-host.
right after.
Yeah, right after it happened. And I said, please just take time away from the emails. I'm not telling you to stop working, but just go to bed tonight. Like don't answer. People, they'll deal. You let them know what's going on. Those that don't, oh well, they have to get over their own shit, truly. And everything else will figure itself out. And she was like, I don't know. And I was so happy when she was like, I didn't answer some emails. I took some time off. I was like, thank God, because you needed it.
I wonder what do you think that came from? Because I have the same thing. I mean, I know my dad was a really, really hard worker. It always felt like I had to live up to it.
Same.
Yeah, same.
Okay. There you
Same.
go.
That's really weird. The three of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you
My
go.
father still works. He even said to me the other day, I was like, Dad, when are you going to retire? And he's like, well, between you having the baby and, mom and this and that. He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, Dad, you don't have to provide for all of us. For us to, it's nice. You want to help support and it's nice. You want to do everything, but you should also relax and enjoy your life. You're turning 60, time to, slow down a little
He's
bit.
only
And
he's in his 50s?
yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
Wait,
So
They had
Mind
me really
blown right now.
young.
my dad's 75 and still works.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
Amanda's
same.
dad.
12
Yeah.
hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
But
keep
my
telling-
dad doesn't even when you just said, I want you to enjoy your life and just relax. My dad wouldn't even know what you're talking about because his
Wow. His life is work.
life is work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but just to be, your dad is also a cinematographer. He goes to fly in these passion projects
he does
now.
His
Right. Yeah, it's
But
his work. It's
still-
his passion.
But
He's
it's
all
work.
in.
It's
But he
for
doesn't
sure.
know anything
You're
else.
invested.
Yeah.
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 And I said to my dad the other day, I'm like, Dad, I'm like, I really appreciate it. But mom also, my mom has stuck, by my father. They've been married for, 30 plus years. And she told him I let you do your career and you're extremely successful at it. I told you at one point I was coming to you and going to say, time to start enjoying
done.
life. We're done. Time to start living, exploring, And so she's been really pushing him. And now he does a little bit of work from home.
Yeah.
He does a little work from the RV when they're on the road. And he's
Nice.
learning. And she's the one that's pushing him because,
Yeah.
and she said the same thing to me. She's like, you're going to have to figure it out because you're a workaholic, Allie. And now you have a baby and you're going to have to find a balance. And
Yeah.
I'm still finding it.
I mean, I'm only learning because of Sophie, really, honestly. I mean, because both my parents are my dad's now passed, but my mom wakes up in the morning and has her list of things to do for the
Right.
day. And that's the way she gets to the end of the day successfully is by doing that.
I want to
That's
work
how I
less.
feel.
The older I get, the less I want to work. And by this third child, I just want I knew that this is my last baby. And I think that's part of the perspective thing is with Kai and then Leo, it's I got more and more busy.
Mhm.
And with her, I'm really trying to just slow down. Even my pregnancy, I stopped teaching at the end of second trimester. I was I
Wow.
took on no more
Good for you.
workshops or anything. And I think you just can't get this time back.
Right.
No, I appreciate
And that's the
that.
point. It's Noah's saying what she has to say about that.
Exactly.
Oh my
She's
God.
so precious.
She is beautiful. I know. And Amelia's like, I want to say something. We're just jumping all over the place. But no, it's true. And I'm learning that too is it does fly by. I was writing in her baby book and I said to my husband, Justin, how is she already 3 months? And he's like, it's been 3 months. And I'm like, but for me being home with her and doing emails, I'm like, I need to stop doing some emails. I need to pay attention. She's going to be a year before I know it. And
You
I'm
blank.
going to be
Exactly.
yeah.
That's why for her, I'm just not, I am aware because I have already been through
You've
it
been
twice.
through it. Yes.
And I know the reason that my breast milk didn't stay as long with Leo is because I was working a lot. And
I've heard that.
I wasn't around him as much. And I would try and bring him on my terms and bring him into the office with me. And then it just didn't work. You don't get to pick and choose
Yep,
when you
you're
get
right.
to be connected.
Yeah.
So
100%.
for now, I'm just in it. And
Good for you. Yep.
It feels really good.
This is why I'm not pregnant yet. I'm I just feel so balls to the wall with all of my work.
Yeah.
And I'm just I want a few more years because I want to be a really good mom.
Yeah.
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 Sure.
And I told her there's nothing
And
wrong
that's
with that.
great. That's
Yep.
a great
Like,
awareness.
exactly.
That's the weird thing. It's I feel all the challenges I have in life are preparing me to have a very difficult kid because I definitely was not an easy kid. So
It all comes back around, right?
it's going to come back.
I know
to
that's
me.
going to be her too. Yeah, definitely.
And I
But
want to
it's true,
be
though. Things prepare you. And I talked to you about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know or saw, but I was on a show this past December on Bravo called Stripped.
Yep.
Okay. And so they take all your things away. And, at first, honestly, it was we're just going to do the show just to go through this experiment. Why not? It sounds interesting. And I realized coming out of it, not only did I get pregnant, but it was holy crap, I really needed to like refocus and I needed to reset in life. And I don't think that would have came for me had I not been forced by the producers to like sit down and be like, Allie, what is your problem? Why can't you like get away from your glam? Why can't you put the phone down for 24 hours? Why does Justin have to ask you 5 times to put the computer away when you're in bed? Like, you know, and I was like, whoa, you're attacking me. And they're like, no, we're trying to get you to like see like what you're doing. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me.
Yeah.
I think Adi needs to go to rehab, actually.
I have a wife that does
I've
that to
already
me.
started Googling like work rehab for addicts.
We'll send you to strip to
No, but
overseas. They just send
no,
it off
but
to an international.
You know, it's kind of like being addicted to drugs. Like we'll be sitting around and my friends will be like, why is he so obsessed? Like and they'll like say it to me and I'm like, say it to him. Like I can't be the only one. But it's now when you think, if you take that out and put alcohol or like Coke, like is he going back to the bathroom again to go do more Coke?
Right.
It's like just put in like, is he back on his phone again? Like his own mom when she was here, he's like, he's always on his phone. And like, it's just like he can't stop.
Yep.
And I work a lot. I am on my phone a lot, but I now have like this new world where I have this assistant. And she's amazing. She only works 2.5 days a week, but I know on those days I'm going to work.
Yep.
On the other days, I'm going to maybe work for extra credit.
Right.
But I'm going to be a mom.
Totally.
And it makes my brain.
Good for you.
So you need to get an assistant.
Yeah, I do.
That's what keeps coming up for me, you know? And he just got one, but it's still the beginning.
Yep. Totally.
And I'm like,
I know I'm having a hard time. I have
keep
someone
hoping.
that's assisting, but it's like,
But you
for
really
me,
have to let go of the reins.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing.
I'm having a hard time letting go of the reins. Every time something happens, I'm like, oh, let me jump in on this email. Oh, you didn't do this. Let me, you know, and it's like, no, I need to like take a step back. But it's hard.
A brand just reached out to me and they were like, we'd love to hop on a call today. And I'm like, great, I'm looping in my manager. You can get on a call with her.
Right.
I don't even need, and Aaron, my manager, was like, do you want to be on this call? I'm like, I'm happy to be, but I don't need to be.
Right.
Because I trust her.
Yeah.
And
you're good. I got to get to that level.
But it took a while. You know, it takes a while to get to that
hard to
point.
delegate.
It is.
You need
It's hard
time
to trust.
to
It's hard to
It is.
trust the
Trust.
person you're
Trust. It
delegating
is
to.
trust.
And also, I mean, you're always connected. It's just you have more people to hand this stuff off to now. So you're still like, from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to sleep,
check in.
Throughout, you're checked in.
I check
It's
in.
just instead of having to do
I'm like
everything along the way.
I'm overseeing
You're overseeing,
now, which
yeah.
is way different than like that stress of like, oh my gosh, I have to do it all myself.
Yeah.
And you are still at that point.
Up
Like,
until 3 weeks ago, I did have to do it all
no,
myself.
literally last night we came home from date night at 10 p.m. and he went to his computer to fix something. Like, why isn't someone else fixing it? You know, like he's at the point where he still has to fix and fiddle and
Yep.
The problem is people don't like, and this is no one does things properly, and it makes me completely furious. Like, I have a dishwasher that's been screwed up for 6 months, and they fixed it 100 times, and I'm like, you just need to. I'm like, they either need to replace it or fix it properly, and I'm just like, I don't know how to do this.
You're like, water
This is not
keeps
my
flowing
job.
on
Well,
my
no.
floor.
No
What's-
water flows into it. That's the problem. And it's
Oh,
but I'm
no.
like, this dishwasher is a metaphor for life. That like you ask someone to do something, they're supposed to be qualified to do it, but it doesn't get done.
well, like
Well,
our
we will
power being out for 4 days. Like, are
I'm
we
so
in a third
sorry
world
for
country?
that.
Like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
just to be fair to the people listening in third world countries, the power will go off for a year, not for 4 days. So we're not in a third world country, but it's ridiculous.
Second world?
That literally.
But I'm sure it feels like that, especially to a new mom who's
and
got a
in
newborn.
and there's
Air
like 8
conditioning.
houses. That's it. It's only 8
Yeah.
houses around us. that
Everyone
don't
else
have
on the
power.
block is like, ours is
What?
fine.
Yeah, it's pretty
yeah.
ridiculous. I just want to give a shout out both to Taylor and Savannah,
and
who
Savannah.
just started with me
Yeah.
for actually stepping up and doing things right because
They actually do. My assistant Taylor is a dream. She gets it done, and
That's amazing.
if she makes a
no,
mistake,
she will not give you her number.
no, she's mine. Yeah, we'll find you someone like
No, it's so true. I mean, look, my dad worked 3 jobs. I never saw him at home, and yet weirdly, I mean, the fact that I never saw him at home sucked. That's something I spoke about till I was in my mid-30s about how terrible it was that my dad. It's not an exaggeration. My dad was home for vacations and for Saturday morning breakfast. That was the only time I saw my dad growing up
So
until I was
sad.
14.
He worked on Sundays.
Oh, it's in
'Cause in Israel-
Sunday is like a regular workday. So in
the
Israel, it's-
weekend is Friday, Saturday in Israel.
Oh, because of Shabbat.
So
And
Friday
worst you
evening,
ever.
Friday evening, everything closes, but he would work through all of it. And
So their Sunday is a Monday.
and I never saw him, and yet somehow now that I'm this age, or actually probably from my mid-30s on, if I stop working, the first thing in my head is like, nope, keep going. Like that, my dad worked. My dad would be the guy who I would call him in the morning. We talked every morning when he was still alive, and I'd have a normal conversation with him. And I'd talk to my mom 4 hours later. I'd say, what are you doing later? Oh, I'm going to go see dad in the hospital. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean dad in the hospital? She goes, oh yeah, he had an operation 3 days ago. I go, I've talked to him for the last 3 days straight.
He didn't tell
and at
you?
no point, that was my dad. Like, never complained, never.
Wow.
You would not know anything was ever wrong with him, ever.
That's
And he
not a
just
D,
showed
by
up.
the way. A D, definitely, that is not the case.
No.
But his work ethic is the same.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but I mean, but that was the thing that always weirded me
Yeah.
out about my dad. Like, what
Yeah.
do you mean?
Right.
You know, by
That's
the way,
insane.
you
Yeah.
know everything. My mom knew everything. Other
Yeah.
people don't know anything.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? My dad didn't ever talk to anybody outside about anything that was wrong with him.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that was so it was like this shell that you can penetrate.
Yeah.
And weirdly, as badly as it affected me, it's like this crazy work ethic that's now stuck in my head that I can't
Yeah.
let go of myself.
I get
The
it.
problem is I think that there is a lack of work ethic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think today,
Especially in younger
There's a
and younger
major
generations.
work of why I
Yeah.
complained to her constantly. I'm like, I had to go this intern because they didn't do A, B, and C.
Oh
And
yeah, I've let go of
it's
so
like-
many interns.
Isn't it
yeah.
exhausting?
I have
I have some
interns.
tips though for that later.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
have
awesome.
interns that reached out to me.
Me too.
Reached out to me.
Like begging to work with you,
Begging
right?
to work for
Same,
me.
Same. Oh, thank God.
And then we do a whole phone call.
Yes, you do
we
a whole
set it
interview.
up,
Nothing.
Yes.
do a whole, hire them.
Yes, me too.
And then they flake out.
They flake out. Yes. What is with
Oh,
that?
you know what? Actually, I can't.
Yeah, I know.
You reached out to me.
That's exactly. Thank you. I had to literally during my pregnancy, I had to literally tap out of emails because
you went through
I was
100 interns.
I literally did, and I literally was going to like. My husband was like, "You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna hit somebody, or you're gonna curse somebody out. We're gonna getting sued." Like, because I couldn't handle it. Because everyone was like, "Well, this is a lot of work. Well, this is," and I'm like, "You came to me.
That's why-
you wanted to work with me, and now you're like, why did you waste my time?"
By the time
Like-
Taylor came to me, I had been through so many bad interns and assistants.
God.
She sat on the other side. She reached out to me. I interviewed her on the other side of the room because I'm such like an intimate person and like I make everyone be my friend and like and that's just real. They're in my family, like it's just the way it is. But with her, I was like, I'm gonna set some boundaries. So I sat on the other side of the room. I interviewed
my
her. I like
God.
had so many guards up. I was terrified
It's
because
funny.
I had been.
I remember having the conversation right before you hired her when you were looking actively for weeks and weeks and weeks and nothing good was coming in.
And she reached out to me
And,
out of the blue.
And I was like, what are the guidelines? And like, you definitely set up more, not just boundaries, but kind of more expectations on the front end than you
Yeah.
ever did with anybody else.
Yeah, because usually I just blindly trust. And then I had been fucked over so many times. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
nah.
I'm with you.
No.
You
think
sit
that's
over
Is
there,
that the
girl.
opposite of yas?
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it. No, I'm with her. No,
Nah.
exactly. Like, no,
You
I
sit over there, girl.
Yeah, I tap out. Like,
You
that's
sit over
serious.
there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. I'm gonna have to do that.
No.
I think that's why we work well together though, because we both have insane work ethics.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we
Us
pick
too.
up where
Yeah.
the other one leaves off. Like there are times when I have more free time and I'll do more of the booking or
Yeah.
promoting.
Yeah.
And then there are
Yeah.
times when I'm like, Allie, wait. I was texting her because we were supposed to go to something together in the ambulance.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm
Like
like, you're out of your
20%
mind.
on
You
my
need
phone.
to chill. Like she was
And I'm
literally
like,
in the
I'm
ambulance.
so sorry. Please. It was like what I don't even remember. It was like an event or something.
Yeah, we had an event to go to.
Please, I'm in the hospital. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it
I'm
tonight.
like, oh my God. I literally was showing her text at the event. I'm like, do you see my crazy friend and co-host?
I
Like, this is my
really
partner. This is how dedicated she
apologize.
is. Like, she's texting me from the hospital. And they
No,
were like,
in the
tell her
ambulance.
she's crazy.
On the
I'm
way
like,
to Cedars.
Oh
and I'm
my-
like, I think the wait's going to be a long time.
Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get
You're
put
like
in
FaceTiming
traction
her.
soon
Yeah.
enough to show up to the
You're like,
event.
see? They're like FaceTiming.
I know.
It's true,
I was like,
though.
I'm
you
not
are
lying to you. I'm really in the hospital.
I know.
here.
I was like, oh my God, Amanda. I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, it's all good. I will take the notes. I will get like the info. We will cover this. Like,
That's so
no
funny.
worries. We'll
Yeah.
take care of your health. What do you mean you're in the hospital? Like,
Turn your phone off.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing I was going to say. Like, I have to now, like, and I see you do the same. I have to turn my phone over because if I
that's what
see
I
my
do.
phone is up and I see messages coming
I
in.
keep it down.
Yeah.
I keep my everything on silent.
Me too.
Almost every like there's nothing
Yeah.
that blink. Wait, what's it called? Like all the
The notifications.
notifications.
Alerts.
yeah, like the
Uh-huh.
notifications. All
Yeah.
of them are off. If I want to know if I got a Facebook message, I'm going to go in and look.
Yep.
I'm not going to be told
I'm with you.
because then it forces in. My brain's like, oh, I
Me
need
too.
to go
I have
check
to
it.
answer this. I know. And what you were saying, like with the overseeing, like I'm still learning how to do that on the social media end and on the like intern assistant end. But with styling, I'm finally slowly like today, I have to have my phone down because I'm like, I know I'll look. I have an assistant who I do trust. And I'm trying to train. She really has been working for me since an intern for years. She's fantastic. She wants to be like a junior stylist, eventually be a key. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be styling forever. Like it's just not going to, especially not as a mom and not at midnight am I gonna be on a music video anymore, and so I've been giving her these like projects and trusting her and saying, okay, this is what I need you to do. And so tomorrow we have a photo shoot for like a big brand, and I told her I have a very important podcast, I have a couple of meetings today, you're gonna go handle the brands, I will be on set tomorrow late with Amelia, but like you're gonna do the overall work and handle it. If you can handle this, we'll move forward and you're going to take on more styling projects. And like I'm not gonna lie, I have my phone down, a little bit of anxiety, but I trust her and Julia's amazing, and I'm like, okay, she's got this. That I need to not chime in, I need to not butt in and like see that they're all answering group text, she's answering them, but it's true, like I'm getting into that overseeing. Yes, I know. I'm getting into that overseeing like in styling, so now I need to get myself there with everything else. And it's a transition for sure.
It's a transition.
It takes time. It takes time.
Wait, but you should talk about why you're not doing so much styling anymore, which is something good. Stop being humble. She's jewelry that they sell at Nordstrom.
Stop.
What?
Her jewelry is at Nordstrom.
That's why I have her. She's like, I'll plug you.
Like, I'm going to plug you because she never plugs herself with this. And I think it's so, I think it's great. It's an amazing
That's amazing.
thing.
Thank you. Well,
congrats.
Thank you. I'm wearing some of the pieces
That's
right
not
now.
helpful for a podcast.
Oh, that's true. But they can see the pieces.
We'll do pictures. We'll do
pictures
after.
and I can give you guys the link. But I work with this company called Sterling Forever back on the East Coast about almost 2 years ago now. They were new and kind of just coming up in the world. And they were looking for fashion experts and different people who were fashionistas. And they said, hey, Allie, we really like your vibe. We really can't pay you anything right now, but like we would love your influence. We'll give you some free jewelry. Can you use it with like clients, this and that? We built a relationship, trust, things came over time. And now, 2.5 years later, the CEO, Mike, and I went to Nordstrom and had my line that they let me design with them in collaboration. And they had lines and Nordstrom said they loved, it's called Hearts on Fire. And I designed it while I was pregnant with Miss Amelia Rei. And because I felt like my heart was on fire, and they loved it. They loved the story. They loved the jewelry, and now it's on Nordstrom.com.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Very cool.
Thank you.
That's huge.
So awesome.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why maybe you don't have time for all the other things because you're not taking on another project.
Right. Exactly.
It's like I can't style
true.
as much because I have an entirely different project.
Right. Exactly. And it's true. And it's like Amanda said to me, she's like, you're building your brand, like you're building out all these different things, and you need to be able to focus on that too. And it's not a bad thing if you trust people to pass it off. And I'm like, yeah, and that's really what I have to get to is trusting you. Like I trust Amanda wholeheartedly. So it's like, that's why I think we can co-host well together and we can podcast well together because I know when she books guests, like they're fantastic. I can look at them quickly and know she booked great guests. Same, vice versa. She'll send back to me. We can, I can do social media one day for the podcast. She can do it another day. Like we take turns and like we say to each other, we never ever like do like
I hate it when
checks
people
and
keep
balances.
score.
Like, yeah, we never do. We're like,
no
I trust
point.
you.
Yep.
We've got this. Like, you paid for that last week. I got this week. Like it just works so organically.
Awesome.
And I think that's why people have been drawn to us as well and say they like our podcast because I think they feel that like organicness and that, bless you, and that chemistry and like just that trust. And I honestly too, I don't trust many people. And, she is just very straight up and, there is no bullshit with Amanda Lauren. And I love that because it's like,
really great. Like you said, you listened to our podcast with Almost 30 and
yeah, she said that to me too. I
It's so
love
nice to get to like when you get to know yourself at this age better, you have your own boundaries, your own limitations, what you are willing to accept in a friendship and not. And so to attract whoever you attract at this point is the real deal. If you
Completely
stick together and you can
Yeah.
actually make it work, it's like you both know what you're willing and not willing to accept in a friendship at this point. So if you can make it work.
But it's not even like a thought. Like we've always just had this like natural thing.
Totally right.
It's like, it's so ridiculous. But one time, so we recorded, I think 4 episodes one day, which was a lot. This is when we were banking.
We learned, okay, that might be too much.
And we needed to talk business afterwards. And so she was, Allie is 8.5 months pregnant and she's in the bath.
Thanks for sharing.
So good.
I was literally
taking,
like
a bubble bath.
I
and
could
we're
not
having
deal.
a
I don't know
business
about
I
you,
feel
but
you.
I lived in baths at the end of my pregnancy.
I mean, I
couldn't-
would just lay on the couch sideways with the microphone, and when he'd make me record,
Yeah,
I'd just
there
be like,
you go. Yeah, you're just dying, right? Yeah, and my
Dying. I couldn't
heartburn
sit.
was like
Nothing was
real,
comfortable.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was just like, sorry, Amanda, but if you want to have a business meeting, Mama's tapping out. I'm getting in the tub.
Yeah.
Like, you feel free. I'm not telling you to come in the tub. You
Yeah.
want to come sit in the bathroom.
You're welcome
And-
to,
Right,
but yeah.
exactly. And we made it work. And I said to my husband, I was like, I always knew we had a good thing, but like her being so supportive of that and like being so,
it's true.
available during my pregnancy
Yeah.
showed that we had that trust.
And you know what though? But I know that when I'm pregnant, she'll do the same thing. I'm
Exactly.
hoping we're not pregnant at the same time ever. I'm really hoping.
That would be
we
difficult.
might have
Plan
to
it
time that up a little bit.
Time it out.
I
Yeah.
know. But it's true though. It's like who you work with and who you have in your life is so important.
That energy
and
is
it's
so important.
different. And
Absolutely.
it affects you a lot more. And it's weird. Like we were saying, like when you're married, your female friendships totally change
Oh my
for
God,
the better.
dramatically.
I mean, I appreciate women so much more now that I'm married and I need women. And I never, before I was married, I'm like, and I always had a lot of girlfriends. So it's very weird that I say this, but I never felt like I needed women in general. Now I feel like if I really needed a tampon and I were at Bloomingdale's, someone would give me one.
Yeah.
Whereas like before I'd be like, I have to find a CVS. Now I'm like, I'll just find another woman in the bathroom. As ridiculous
Absolutely.
as it sounds.
No, it's kind of cool that you learn to rely on your tribe.
Yeah,
Really, really
absolutely.
nice.
And I said to Amanda too, like, I wish someone had shared with me when I was younger, like, hey, the reason you have women in your life, like the good ones,
You need them.
You need them. And not just because you have an amazing partner, you could love your husband to death and have the most profound, relationship and conversations, but you still need that tribe. And you need that, away time and you need that independence. And they're just, sometimes they're there for things that maybe even if your husband will listen, you don't feel like he gets.
Yeah.
Or you don't feel like you can maybe share even if you can share. And it's like, I said to Amanda, I'm like, I wish someone told me, like when I got engaged, I got so much advice and nobody said that to me. Like, keep your girlfriends, keep the people who you really trust, keep the people that you need to rely on.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the first year I got married, I was totally guilty of like, I'm in bliss and I'm not talking to my friends because I'm just, married and da-da-da. And I regret that because I apologized to a lot of my friends after, getting married because my grandmother had passed away. Long story short, she was like my very best friend. That's who I named Amelia after. And, I went through a really hard time and I was in a really dark place. And I, basically just kind of stayed in my marriage and just was like, okay, he's my only safe place, and rejected my friends who had been there for me even before Justin. And they all felt like, what the fuck? Like, you're not even telling us you're depressed. You're not even like calling. You don't text back. You don't Facebook. You just go on and post, but you don't answer us. And I was really guilty of that for like a good year. And until I came out of it and realized like what I was doing, I went to my girls and was like, I'm really sorry. Like, I was struggling and I didn't handle this right. And, I was married and I thought, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to, be with the partner and that's it. And I'm so sorry I did this to all of you. And it took a while with a lot of my girlfriends. A few of them I lost, and the rest, we came back around and have a stronger friendship now and better understanding. But that's something I never knew that I would have to deal with. Or like Amanda said, like, people don't make light of, like, you just don't really talk about that.
Well,
Yeah.
you go through these transitions, I find, like, there's like high school to college and then college out. And like there's all these transitions, but no one talks about like what you're going to experience in a personal
Absolutely.
way. Like,
no.
like
Not at
I
all.
would really like that would have been more helpful
Yeah.
than like people telling me not to get china because you have to hand wash it and you can't put it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was like
Gotta
good to
love your
know.
comparisons,
That
Amanda.
was good to know, but like a little bit more emphasis on the female friendship and not so much like get the knives
female
with the wood
friendship,
handles.
exactly.
Yeah.
Female friendships also like for me, I am really close to my parents, especially my stepmom and my dad. And, no one ever teaches you how to then own being an adult. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
you shift and like I'm graduating college and practically engaged, and I'm still like being treated like a baby, and I still acted like a baby when I go around them, and it's and it's like no one gives you permission or teaches you how to transition.
So true. I like that permission. That's so true because you almost like go back and see them. I'm totally guilty of this. When I go home to my parents, like in New York, I'm actually kind of glad they sold the New York house because at first I was like, oh my God, it's all my memories and I grew up there. But now I'm like, I kind of feel more free. Like I don't have to maintain
You can be this version of who you are.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's true. Like you almost don't have that permission to be like, okay, like I have to transition. I have to be something else. Yeah. It's a really good point.
Yeah. Like I'm a mom now.
Yes, exactly.
I'm a wife now.
Yes.
I have my own company.
That's right.
And
I've changed. Things
I deserve that respect,
yes.
but I didn't even know how to ask for that respect.
Yeah. That's so true. I love that.
Yeah.
My parents still call me baby girl.
Mine do too, but I don't think bother me.
Weird.
But they probably don't treat you like a baby.
It depends on the day of the week.
Yeah.
But it's
When they pull out the diapers, it gets a little too too
weird.
serious.
Well, it's weird because when my parents sold their apartment in New York City, like the apartment that I grew up in, I was to this day, I'm still sort of like, it's weird because like now I feel like I have no roots there because my husband's also from New York City, grew up a few blocks away from me. I'm like, we like legit have no roots there anymore because my parents decided to rent. And I'm just like, wait, like what? Like I thought. It's so weird.
Yeah,
it's very weird. Like it must be so nice to have your parents in the same city.
Sort of.
Yeah. I was going to say more.
They kind of aren't the kind of parents like that you would think they would be. They're not really. They both work full time. So my stepmom has her own production company and like is in the industry, which is has its own, as we all know.
Yeah,
as we all know.
Oh yeah.
And then my dad, just like I said, like still travels the world with a camera on his back and, you know, is in his own bubble and like trying to raise money for this documentary and still like stuck in that kind of wheel. And so they're not really very involved. And it makes me really sad, you know, like it's actually really sad to me, but there's nothing I can do about it. We've had therapy sessions about it. You know, I've lost my shit on several occasions just because it's so painful to have them so close physically, but not, and we love them and they love us. It's not a question of love. It's just more like they're not as involved as I wish.
It's just a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It's just a lifestyle.
That's so interesting. That's like, yeah, I get it though. But like my parents are sort of like that too. My sister, half sister from my dad's first marriage, lives in the suburbs and she's like an hour 20, an hour 30 from the city. And, you know, she has 3 kids. And my mom once went there to like babysit for a few days when they went away. And like, you know, she's close to she calls them her grandkids, but I like to think they're her step grandkids because when I have kids, they'll be her real grandkids. I was going to say psychologist, all the thing is like lighting up with that statement.
Not touching that. Touching that.
No. And she's like, I hate the suburbs. I never want to do this again. She called me because my mom really, really dislikes the suburbs. Not like I get to spend time with the grandkids. I hate the suburbs.
Making it about her.
I can't wait till they get back. And I'm like,
that's the thing. It's like,
oh, I can't blame you.
My parents live in a bubble of their own reality. It's not about, they don't live for us. They don't live for their grandkids. They live for themselves. They live, my stepmom never had her own children. So it's not, you know, it's like she doesn't have that. I'm her child to the best that she can feel that to be. But when you have and birth your own child, that like unconditional love is just, you can't teach that, you know, like she loves me in her way unconditionally, but she doesn't live her life for me in the way that you would if it was your child, you know? So it's like, it's complicated. My dad was in and out of my life, you know, on his own terms. If he had like something work-wise that worked conveniently for him to come visit me, he'd come visit me on the East Coast, but he moved out here to be with my stepmom. So it's a complicated, convoluted relationship, but it's also pure love and great when we're together. And now I'm trying to just not hold resentments and just love them when I'm, you know, around them, which is...
You know what? I get it though, because I have not always had the easiest relationship with my parents. And I feel like I just really appreciate when it's good.
Yeah.
And I just have to like enjoy those times.
Exactly. And you never know. Things can change and things can evolve. And I think for a long time, I thought that if I just kept expressing myself, something would change and give. But you can't change people. They have to want to change.
People.
Especially people that are older. And if they... you know, they'll either come around or they won't. And if they don't, we love them anyway, you know, and we love them for the parts that we get.
Family's always complicated.
Yeah.
Always, no matter what.
It's never simple. I've never met
anybody who has a really
simple.
That's why they say you can't choose your family.
No.
Totally. we have 5 questions that we have to ask you because we asked them of all of our guests. And
Should we go like back and forth or have them both answer?
I don't know, tag team.
Maybe you answer for each other and finish each other's sentence.
Just like
we just play off each other. Why not?
Okay.
I'll answer for her.
The first one is, what is the best advice you've ever received?
Oh, well, I think I would say, for you, it's going to be like that you didn't receive. We were just talking about on the podcast. Is the whole like women and friendship and the tribe that you need for sure.
That you really need good women around you.
Yeah.
Way more than you think.
Yeah.
Like way more
But
than
the
you
best,
think.
I know, but I would say like if I work really hard.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Like, definitely work really hard and always have a good work ethic. And one of my favorite things I was told was, don't stop until everyone knows your name in the room. And I never used to really get that.
Ooh.
But now I'm like, oh, I get it. Because you go to all these events in LA, right? And you think you're working your ass off and you know so-and-so and you know so-and-so. And you're like, finally at a place where you feel like you're advancing. And then you walk into an event and you're like, I don't know anybody and nobody knows me. And like, and all of a sudden it's like back to square one. But it's like,
I'm
it's
not
so
a fan
true.
of networking. I really don't like it.
Yeah.
I love doing the work. I hate the networking.
Do you?
It's so weird.
Oh, see,
I like
love the networking.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, me too. I'd actually rather network and give someone else the work
Because
to
you
do
leave
instead
the
of doing both.
house. Because you like don't work from home. That's what it is. And if
Now I do.
He does now.
Now I do.
Oh,
Finally.
you do?
Yeah.
Wow.
I never did.
Wow.
I mean, this year. This is the first year I've ever
Good
worked
for
from
you.
home. I built a little tiny home office downstairs.
It's awesome.
So I
it's
go into my
awesome.
dungeon.
your man cave.
Yeah.
Exactly. Man
But
cave.
you see people during the day, every day, who are not people that live with you.
Right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
yeah.
Yeah, you see clients and your assistant and
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so that might be
I don't
why
have an
you-
office that I used to. I used to go away for 8 to 10 hours a day. That I would
so
be out
glad
of
you
the
don't
house.
anymore.
Aw.
Yeah.
No, it'd be hard.
It's nice. I can be like, I'm going to go do this thing, take the baby for a minute. And it's
Yeah.
really nice because at
No,
least he's
that's
seeing her more than he
amazing.
would if he were
Right.
working.
I know. Well, my husband and I had that conversation because we're working on sleep training, and he was like, please don't put her down before 8. And like, I know that's kind of selfish of me, but like, I'm gone from the house
Aw.
all day. I want to spend some time with her besides the weekend. So we're
Yeah.
trying to find like a time that works at night that's not too late for her, but that daddy gets a little bit of time with her
Yeah.
and then gets to put her down for bed
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's true. Like, we don't have that. Like, I'm home all day by myself.
Yeah. And for the first two, I was resentful
Resentful.
the entire time because
I get it.
I was like, I'm raising these kids on my own.
I'm on that level.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Second question: what has been your proudest moment?
Ooh.
You go first.
I have to, it's funny. If you had asked me this question pre-pregnancy, I would have said, oh, the celebrities I styled, or, oh, the fact I was in New York Times. Should I take my answer back? but it's gotta be being a mom.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
Having the baby, yeah.
Yep, having a baby and being able to transition to this new world. It's not easy, and it's definitely, something you have to learn to do, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
The most rewarding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say recently, like I would say like getting to write for Forbes
I was
has
gonna
been
say-
really big.
I was going to say for
Yeah.
you, Forbes is huge.
Forbes.
You've also done stuff for like Timepiece, and you've done, what was the other one you just did a few months ago? That was a huge one.
It's like Real Simple.
Yes,
that was
Real
exciting.
Simple. That was big.
Although they didn't give me a
but still, like
byline,
I
but
would
yeah.
say, like just in general for you, how much your writing career has taken off.
Yeah, like I would say like getting to freelance write because I've had I moved to LA to be in the industry, and while that hasn't come to fruition the way I would like it to, I'm still pursuing it. I mean, like I'm not dead yet, so I can still pursue it.
Right.
And you know what? Just like I had so many bad day jobs, and I would sit in my car and cry, and I would read read things on my phone. I'm like, I could write this. I should be writing this. And so I did, I made that happen. And I
That's
really
beautiful.
I like it. Like I have a day job that I don't hate. And that's really more than I think most people can say. And I actually like it. Like I really find it fulfilling. And I think it's also helped my career, the way social media's panned out, et cetera. Like it has really helped. Things have fallen into place from it.
That's awesome.
What I love about Amanda writing real quick is she always she not only is honest, but people really whether they like her or don't like her, she just when she writes, you feel it, just like how you guys speak on Ignited and why we got so into your podcast, you feel it, you hit that emotion and you really makes you think and it makes you move forward and do things that maybe you wouldn't do. And Amanda has that gift with writing, and I think it's been incredible this year how many projects she's gotten because of that, and that is organically showing then to her blog and social and everything else.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, what's the next one?
Which one is your most difficult?
Oh, yeah,
moment?
your most difficult moment.
Oh God, my most difficult moment. I guess I could say this now that I don't. My NDA is over. I had to style. Sorry, Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks' wife. Not so easy. And I was on a huge photo shoot with her. I'll leave the magazine out. But it was like one of the hardest days for me, just because I was emotionally in a bad place from other things that were going on. She was going through some things and was not the nicest to me. And it was just a really hard day, and I had to get through it. And she didn't like all 3 racks of clothing. I've never had that happen in my career before, where I walk in with like over 200 options, and they're like, no, it's not happening. And I had to just figure it out. Yes, exactly. And I had to just, I found fabric to create things that would just be whatever, and just make it work. But that was definitely one of the hardest and testing moments of my career.
Damn.
Made me almost quit as a stylist, to be honest.
Wow.
Amelia.
I would, oh my God, Amelia, she's so cute. You're such a good mom.
She's so cute, but she's so loud today.
No, she's so good. I would say the most difficult thing I've been through was I had a former best friend that stole like $9,000 from me. And it turned out she'd been basically lying about who she was for most of her life. This is a very short version of the story.
Wow.
And just coming to, and just like learning how to grow from that, and just having like my foundation just totally shaken from it. Like everything I believed about this person, all of these, it was like a bad Lifetime movie. And just learning, like coming through that and realize it, and just becoming a better person for it, and being really picky about who I have in my circle, and also like learning to forgive that person, because I eventually did.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds like quite the experience. Talk about finding good friends to support you through that.
Made it. Okay, ready for the next one?
Oh my God.
Self-care. What is your go-to? Is there one thing? Is there 2 things? Is there something you do every day for self-care? Share.
You're talking to a woman who's like barely gets up at the right time with Amelia. Well, let's see. Oh goodness. I try to always just do like literally even like 10 sit-ups like when I get up in the morning, just to like make myself work out and do something, because I'm not getting to do as much as I used to, and not getting to go to classes anymore, and trying to find a new normal, especially because I had an unexpected C-section. And my body's not fully, where I want it to be, and also not feeling the best. So that'd be one thing. And 2, I try to just give myself like a face mask. Goodness, Amelia. I try to give myself like a face mask or something like that just makes me feel good in the morning. And once a week, I try to like, even if it's just for me, I just do my makeup like a full face, just so that I can feel pretty, because I realize that it's sad to say, but it's just the truth. I always say to Amanda, like since I had her, like I'm like, well, my daughter saw my beauty. I don't feel pretty anymore.
Shut up. You're gorgeous. No,
thank you. But I do feel that way. And it's like, I need to do that to feel good and feel sane and to feel like me and not just a mom. Exactly. And I know it's like, it's hard to say that, because of course I love being a mom, but you kind of lose sight of like,
you have to remember who you are.
Who you are. Yeah. So that's part of my self-care.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, I would say it's working out and not being hard on myself about it. I used to work out before I got married 6 days a week, which in retrospect was a lot of working out. I'm like, I don't know how I had time for that. Like, it was insane. And then I was working out 4 to 5 days a week. And then a month ago, I had this injury, and I worked out 3 days last week. And I'm just like, I've sort of learned I have to listen to my body. I have to slow down. But even if I do something, even if it's just like a yoga class, or like in the beginning of this, I would tell my husband, I'm like, I need to take a walk. Like, I'm in a lot of pain, but like, I'm going to take some painkillers, and we're just going to take a walk in the neighborhood, because I feel like a crazy person right now.
Yeah.
And just listening to my body and just trying to do whatever I can do. Also, I would say double cleansing, oil cleanser, followed by a regular cleanser, changes your skin.
Amanda would know because she has flawless skin.
It's really not flawless.
No, it really
but it's
is,
like,
though.
And Retin-A, lots of Retin-A, but that's a prescription.
But
they should really start paying me
to
say, do you know how many times you plug
them? Like, I think you need to send them
product.
every episode that you plug them on, because she's like obsessed with Retin-A.
It's like a $10 copay, and it's so much better than everything you pay like $80 for. And then I use that a few days a week. And then the other days, I usually use like Biossance oil, which is vitamin C, squalene, and rosehip, all combined.
Done.
I know, right? It's like she's got the whole 9 yards.
And what makes you feel ignited?
Ooh.
The most ignited.
People who are interesting. People who I have interesting conversations with. Or even just listening, like, I don't want to be like a dork, like listening to your podcast or listening to a podcast or hearing something from a person that I haven't heard before that makes me, that's not superficial, that makes me think.
Well, that's awesome.
And
I love it.
I love that too. And I would say to that note, like, especially with being a mom, we were talking to Sophie with like mommy influence. It's my influence now. It's the fact that I'm inspiring and empowering people. I had an unexpected C-section, and long story short, it was not what I wanted. I had like 42 hours of labor. I wanted a natural water birth, not go as planned. My daughter had other plans, and I wrote about it, and I shared my story with people and Self Magazine and many others, and so many people reached out and said this helped me so much. And so I would say now I'm learning, like, when I share stories that maybe I'm scared to share or I'm scared to be vulnerable about, it actually is the most inspiring and empowering, and that makes me feel ignited for sure.
That's
love
awesome.
that.
Yeah. I mean, we started this podcast because of impact. So I think we can
And
definitely,
being vulnerable.
Yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
relate.
There's some beauty to it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you said people connect the most when you're actually being your true self, even when it's bad stuff that's
Exactly.
happening, even when
Yeah.
you're describing the imperfections of life. Speaking of which, thank you for joining us in a hotel room when the power's out. And
Hey, you make it work, right?
and
And we're wearing the same clothes for 3 days.
we're trying to make it happen. Thank you for bringing it. And
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so much
having
for having us. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you for
Amelia Rei has had so many
wonderful-
opinions on your podcast.
all good. I think
She's
everybody's
so
now used to
cute.
our baby talking, so we're good. See you everybody next week. Bye. Thank you everybody for listening to the Ignited podcast. We were so happy to have you along for this ride. Please go and subscribe to this. Leave us a review. We love hearing from you. And if you want more, don't forget to go to ignited.com, where all the podcast episodes are available with show notes and so many of the little details and links from each one of these interviews. And you can look at all the future events that we have going on, all the things that make Ignited so special, even beyond this recording. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week.